Hello from Gateway near St. Louis. We're here for rounds 2 and 3 of America's Rallycross 2019. My name's Andrew Cully. I'll be announcing this weekend. Bucky Lassett joins me again.
Yes.
Bucky, really looking forward to this. We've been out and seen the track, and it looks awesome.
The cars look great. The drivers are stoked. The straightaway is awesome. It's very fast, very flowy track. It's got turn one's going to be tricky, of course, after the start, and I think a lot of action is going to happen after the jump.
I'm loving this section behind the Subaru pits here where there's that tarmac straight and then it drops off in like 4th or 5th gear, a proper roller coaster compression onto the loose.
A lot of gravel on this track.
Okay. Fantastic. Who's your money on? I mean, obviously last time top qualifier was Tanner Faust, didn't go his way in the finals. Scott Speed took it. We had the contact between the two Subarus, yeah, and we can't forget Arpin and Pecoy.
Yeah, I think the Fords are looking good on the timesheets right now. I think Speed's up there, Faust is up there. Pretty open. I think it's anyone's battle right now.
Bucky won't commit right now, will he? He's not going to tell us who he thinks is going to win. If you need some odds compared to last time out, then take a look back at round 1 and you can make your own mind up who you think might be the form man. The 2019 America's Rallycross Championship kicked off in mid-Ohio with all eyes on former VW teammates Tanner Faust and Scott Speed, now in rival camps and looking to draw first blood in the race to be crowned champion. Both men took 2 qualifying sessions each, but there was plenty of drama. Much of it provided by a challenging first corner. Turn 1 claimed its biggest scalp with Speed in a day 1 incident that gave his new Subaru team plenty to do overnight. The Californian was not a happy man.
Scott, what happened out there?
I don't know. I went into the corner first on the inside, and I don't know where I got hit, but they broke the car.
Day 2, and Faust didn't have it all his own way in semi-final 1. Chris Atkinson beat him to turn 1 and pulled away, leaving Tanner to battle it out with the impressive Travis Pecoy in his Fiesta for a row 2 slot in the final, a battle Faust only just won. No such drama for Speed. He was first out of the blocks and bossed his semi to take pole in the final. On to the final, and with Speed on the inside, he was always going to make the first corner his. He missed the carnage behind, involving just about everyone else, the biggest losers being Faust and Atkinson. Speed had the luxury of an early joker, retaining the lead over the battling Fiestas of Pecoy and Steve Arpin, the latter of whom would be given a 5-second penalty for his turn 1 excursion. Things were not so clear-cut for Speed's teammates. On lap 4, Sandell followed Pecoy into the joker, and on the merge collided spectacularly with stablemate Atkinson, putting an end to any hopes of a second Subaru on the podium. Speed was oblivious to what unfolded behind him, bringing his new set of wheels home safely for his first win under the Subaru banner, and a perfect start to his title defence. So these are the championship standings after that first round down at Mid-Ohio. 29 points to Scott Speed, missing just the 1 point. But Tanner Faust, though, didn't make it onto the podium, taking 24. That was thanks to a brilliant performance, of course, taking the top qualifier spot. Arpin in 3rd, Atkinson, Pecoy, Sandell and Bigham. So it was a good first round down at Mid-Ohio, Bucky. You know, we saw everybody was on pretty similar pace. We weren't actually sure we were going to have that at the start of the season. But
no, we didn't know what we were going to get. We didn't know where the Volkswagens were, where the Fords were, and where the Subarus were. We just know there was a lot of change going on.
There was, and this morning you've been out free practice, I think, and had a look at the timesheets, and I believe the Fords are right up there.
Yeah, the Fords. It seems like this track is really set for the Fords. I talked to Tanner a little bit. He's on pace, you know, but it's like he's even saying that the Fords are fast.
Yeah, he is indeed. I went and saw the VW engineer. They were doing some work on the cars. They put new clutches in because it's double header this weekend. So lots of work's been going on there. They've had the transmissions out. They rebuilt the transmission after every event. So everyone's up for it. It's going to be a great fight. Very much looking forward to it. So we are near St. Louis for round 2 of the series, and round 2 and 3, in fact, of course, double header this weekend. We started out at Mid-Ohio, as you can see here. That was back at the start of June. 2 rounds here this weekend, so absolutely crucial for all the drivers in ARX. Then we head up to Trois-Rivières. We're going to go and join the FIA World Rallycross Championship for the first weekend in August. Down to COTA, Circuit of the Americas, Austin, Texas, for round 5, and then we'll round the season out. Round 6 back down at Mid-Ohio, so a circuit the drivers will be familiar with to round it out again. In fact, looking at the calendar, Bucky, they're familiar now with all the tracks because, of course, they went to Trois-Rivières last year with World Rallycross.
Yep.
You know, they've been to COTA once already. So this is the last of the circuits this year we're going to see them having to learn. I suppose the likes of Picoy and Bigham are going to have to learn some of those other circuits, but the top drivers have all been to the rest of the season.
Yeah, and they did have a test here a couple days ago. So the drivers have driven the track. They changed the jump a little bit. The jump was more of a jump. Now they've kind of taken that away, so you get kind of like a you know, some suspension travel, little sideways over the crest there.
The cars are going right up, aren't they, to the top, but they're going very light over that, and it's setting them up beautifully. I was watching Tanner through there this morning. The cars are really moving around. It's committed.
Yeah. Preferably lap like number 4 on Tanner's was beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Now, we know some of you guys will be brand new to Rallycross. Rallycross has been around for more than 50 years, and particularly over in Europe. It's been over here in the States for a few years too. This is the second year of America's Rallycross, but if you're not really sure what the score is, then we've got some ARX education for you. This is how it works. What is Rallycross? It is a mixture of rallying and circuit racing. So, of course, we race on dirt, we race on tar, we've got jumps as well. We've 6 rounds this year. In 1 round, 4 qualifying heats. There are up to 5 cars per race during qualifying. The top 12 after those qualifying heats go through to the semi-finals. Top 3 go through and the bottom 3 are eliminated at that point. 6 cars then through to the final, and that decides the event winner. So you can actually win an event and not take the most points, and Tanner didn't quite do that last time out, but it was a good example of how important these qualifying stages are, Bucky. You know, it's all very well to win the final, but there's a huge haul of points. You get up to 16 points during qualifying, so it's important to be up at the sharp end.
It is. You got to keep your head wit, you got to keep your wits about you, and it's not, you want to race the guy in front of you, you always want to race him, but it's like it's all about the times, and that's what you got to realize when you're out there.
So very much looking forward to Q1, and that is coming up shortly. First of the cars lining up on the grid already. Good to see. ARX 2 is first. Support category, of course, for these guys. Normally aspirated engine, all-wheel drive still, sequential gearboxes still. Bucky, these cars are nothing like the supercars in terms of output, power output, but actually they're a great learning tool. Yeah,
it's a spec-built car. All the cars are identical. You cannot pretty much do anything. You can't open up the gearbox. You can't mess with the motor. You can't mess with anything. And I mean, you can make your adjustments with suspension. That's pretty much it.
Well, we're going to see who's in this first race. On the inside, we've got J.R. Hildebrand. He came out yesterday in the random draw. First of all, we headed down to the baseball stadium in St. Louis to do the draw, and J.R. chose the pole in the first race. Then it was Gray Ledbetter, Alex Keys, who won around last time out, and Cole Keats. So J.R. Hildebrand has actually raced here before in IndyCar around the oval. Bucky, you know, he's made the switch across to Rallycross. Of course, we're missing Sage Karam this weekend because Sage has actually had the call up to go and race, hasn't he, in open wheel racing again. So I was quite looking forward to seeing Sage reignite his rivalry with Fraser McConnell. But, you know, good to see JR back.
Yeah, good to see JR back. I think Fraser's going to have his hands full with good old,
Sage?
No. With,
Connor Martell.
Yeah, it's been so long.
we couldn't remember his name. We've got a jump start already. Yeah, Connor Martell's back for this weekend. So Martell, of course, was the champion last year. I was going to look up what he thought he had 4 wins. He told me yesterday he had 3, and he did. Of course, he was right. So Martell last year won COTA 1. He won both days at Canada. He was second at COTA 2, and then he retired at the in the last round of the year last year. So Connor Martell is back for this weekend, hoping we might see a little bit more of him. He had a test, didn't he, on Thursday as well? I think everybody took part in the test, if I remember correctly.
So. And we get to learn the liveries as well. I'm trying to learn whose car is who right now.
Yeah, we are seeing people change liveries from event to event, which is always fun for us in commentary. So the little orange lights, if you're not familiar, say, with the jump start procedure here, so they line the cars up about 12 centimetres from the jump start sensors off the grid. And then if you go before the lights change, you get a jump start penalty, which is a penalty joker lap. So you have to do another Joker. Now the Joker lap
What's
again.
Keats got going on here? He's lined up a little crooked.
I think Scott Speed yesterday was saying he was a bit worried about the run down to turn 1. Great start, J.R. Hildebrand on the inside. Great lead. Better's been left a little bit behind. Alex Keys is now just slot in. They're 2 wines to head out, and we're going to be learning this track just as you guys are at home as well. J.R. Hildebrand gets into the side there, off the tarmac, onto the dirt, into the first of the dips, and the elevation change here, really important, Bucky. If you don't have the car settled, look at that. Keys has managed to get himself straight up into P1.
Look at that. Where'd he come from?
Yeah, amazing.
He came from 3rd in turn 1 into 1st place by turn 2.
So there you can see the guys appearing up over the crest, which they shake the top of the jump, and they've maybe taken a tiny little bit too much off it because they're now not flying quite the same way, but they are still going light. But Bucky, this is my favourite part of the track.
Yes, it is.
You don't get an idea of the speed there. We might see it from this front camera at some point, where they're feeding the car gears down that back straight, and then it drops off into the dirt.
Look at the front wheel inputs from the drivers right there coming onto the tarmac. Yeah, I love this track just because every corner is gravel just about. So you have the speed on the straight, on the tarmac, but then it's all up to the driver not to overdrive the dirt.
So if you're not comfortable with the car moving around underneath you here, you're really going to get shown up, aren't you?
Well, you're going to get a first-class prescription to how to.
Yeah, you're going to have to. Look at that. But I think also here, I wonder if we're going to see clean look. Wow, Keys, look at that on the dirt, on the grass as well on the outside. This is a confident drive, 1.9 up already. Nobody's taken the Joker lap yet. We'll try and show you where that is. So this is turn 1. And you can see just there where he digs in at the bottom, there is a few feet of elevation change there.
Yes, it is. And these ruts will get worse as the cars hit them. So every time these cars hit them, their wheels, they might kind of get into popping some beads. If that's where the tire kind of loses contact with the rim. So the more these cars go through these ruts and hit these little potholes in the dirt, they're going to get bigger and bigger, and these cars do not like that. You'll have to drive around those.
Yeah, whereas the supercars can pretty much drive through them, can't they?
Yeah, they can drive right through them, no problem.
We did see some fair old ruts on the big braking zone, didn't we, on the loose at Mid-Ohio. But I think it's great that the guys managed to have a test on Thursday, and in fact they then all sat with the track designers and had a conversation about where they wanted some of the bales moved. They actually added a few feet of tarmac to the side of the entry. Here we're going to see Keys go Joker this time, so he goes straight on into the Joker. And look at the exit of this. It's really tight.
It is really tight. Tarmac onto the tarmac. You got that apex curve on the outside there. I've seen supercars hit that pretty hard.
So Keys on that super committed section at the back, coming back up onto the loose. Going to come round and take the finish. There it is. So it's the line across the road. You can see painted there with the ARX branding either side. That is the finish line. So interesting. I like the layout. I have to say I'm really looking forward to seeing a supercar on it. Nice to see the ARX2 cars on it as well. But the supercars this morning, just the outright pace of them, particularly down that tarmac back straight, is so obvious. But Alex Keys, great job. Of course, it was Keys who double podium in Mid-Ohio, managed to get the win on day 1, and then he got P3 on day 2. So Alex Keys takes it. 250.3 is the first time of the day. J.R. Hildebrand nearly 3 seconds off the back, then Cole Keats and Gray Ledbetter. So 8 ARX2 cars here this weekend, which of course makes the semi-finals that little bit more interesting, because if you don't make it into the top 3, you won't be going through to the final. Bucky's just looking up at the lap times up here in commentary. We're heading into see if we can have a catch up with Alex Keys, I think. Oh, we've lost the camera just there for a second. Alex has still got his net up on the door, so okay, let's take a look at the replays.
Here we are. We have Keys right here. Check out what Keys does here. I want to see what he does to get into this top spot. We have JR battling with Keats. Oh, he just took the inside line as those guys battle a little. Yeah,
they just ran just that tiny bit of contact and they ran wide.
That's all it took.
Great drive by Keys. I have to say, you know, when we spoke to him yesterday down at the stadium in town, and he was saying, you know, about how this is the first time he's had a good start to the season. Obviously, full of confidence.
Yeah, I think when it comes down to these guys, is if the car's there for them, then they're going to put it on the podium. With Keys, all these guys, Martel, they're definitely veterans to this sport.
So James Rimmer is with Keys now.
Alex, great way to start the weekend with a win in Q1. The track looks like a lot of undulations, a lot of elevation changes. Tell us a little bit about how this is different from Ohio for the viewers who watch there.
Yeah, I think this is the best track we've ever been to in Rallycross, honestly. I really like the way that it flows. There's kind of never a break in the flow. It's always just, there's slow speed stuff, but it flows really well. Higher speed stuff is super fun. The elevation's great. And getting sideways over the jump is cool, too.
Awesome. Well, good luck the rest of the day.
Thank you.
Well, apologies there. We've got a few technicals with that camera. We will get those sorted for you as soon as we can. It is close to 100 degrees here today. I think me and Bucky are quite pleased that we're indoors for this one. It is a swelter. So Brad DeBerti on the inside of this one, the returning champion Conor Martell, Michael Leach, who steps up from ARX 3 to ARX 2, the first driver to do that, and Fraser McConnell on the outside. Fraser McConnell, the current championship leader. He is 3 points ahead of Sage Karam, who of course isn't here this weekend. Alex Keys also on 49 points, just a few points behind Fraser. So some great fights to come. So you can hear the local circuit announcer through the PA system here entertaining the crowd. There are a few people sitting up in the grandstands with the umbrellas up. They are baking. They can get trackside as well on the far side of the paddock, which is nice. But from the top of the grandstands where we are with commentary, they've got a really good look at the whole venue. So revs up. Watch the ready to race light. Goes out in a random gap to the green. Oh, I thought we'd had a jump there from Leach, but he just held on, Bucky. And Martell then got the best start. Fraser McConnell going to try and go around him.
Here's
McConnell's squeezing in. Look at the way the dirt's been dragged on from that last corner. It's interesting because it's all over the tar. Drops onto the dirt section, and it is
Martell squeezed in there.
Hammer down.
Yeah, McConnell, he was eyeballing it, but he just tucked in. He didn't really have the momentum to get by him on that try. He just I think he's just probably going to tuck back and see what Martell has in.
So is that Michael Leach? Or no, that's yeah, it is Michael Leach then. So Michael Leach has gone joker on lap 1. We're just recognising his cars. This is his first event. Again, spoke to him yesterday, and he was saying that the whole sport's new to him, not just the car, but the whole sport, everything to do with it. Bucky, you've done this. Yeah, the whole joker lap thing. People laugh when the drivers forget to joker, and they're like, I didn't know what lap I was on. It's only 4 laps. Can't you count to 4? It's not that easy.
It's actually pretty hard because unless you're mixed up in a battle, the cars are so loud. You know, sometimes you might have something that happens that frustrates you. We have McConnell.
Fraser's got a joker.
Look at that tight hairpin. He clipped the tires there. Got away with it.
So watch Fraz as he goes down there. You get a good idea of the speed that they're going into that dirt section from that rear shot. When you see they're barely braking, Bucky, they're going in there light over a crest into the dip. But then I guess the compression helps them.
Yeah, there's not a lot of braking on this course. I think a lot of the guys are letting it roll, lifting off the throttle, and just kind of slowing the car that way. With these cars, I know you want to keep on the power.
So we're Fraser now catching up to DeBerti, and he really needs DeBerti to go joker here, because if he doesn't, that early joker lap's not going to pay off. You know, he's gambled on it to try and split the strategy from Conor Martell, but he's catching up with DeBerti. We didn't see if DeBerti went joker or not, so where is Fraser? No, he's still behind DeBerti, looking out the commentary box window.
I feel these top 3 that we're looking at right now are going to be the ones that we're going to be looking at in the final, unless misfortune happens, because these were the guys that were super fast in Ohio.
Yeah, with Martell chucked into the mix as well.
Minus Martell, but we know what he has.
But it's good, isn't it? It's not, you know, if we're going to have 4 or 5 guys who are on a similar pace once we get to that final stage, we could be in for an awesome race. I love that as well. Over the top of the crest there, you can't sight, can you, the entry point to the joker, and Martell clips it. He could get a warning for that. I don't think he would get a penalty, but interesting as well how close behind McConnell was. So I actually think McConnell almost as close to Martell as he was when he went into the joker. Definitely getting a clean line through this dirt section too. Martell chucks the car in, a little bit of sideways, a little bit of opposite lock, and he's going to come round now to cross the line and stop the clocks.
Martell with the only 38 lap in there, so he's running fast.
And that was the lap before his joker, so Martell got an absolutely fantastic lap in. In fact, and Fraser McConnell's just crossed the line. He did a 38 on the last lap, but 2 tenths quicker. So they both did it. So both McConnell and Martell raised their game when they needed to try and get the overlap. But it was Conor Martell who took it with a 2:48.5. Interested to see how this track develops. Here's confirmation of that result. Martel from McConnell, 1.5 seconds between them. Brad DeBerti getting P3 and Michael Leach on his debut in the category in P4. Only 8 seconds from first to fourth. That's pretty similar to what we saw in race 1. We'll bring you the session results shortly, I'm sure, and see just where they all slot in. I think is it Martel? I think Martel's got the quickest time, and I can't remember the time that was set in the previous one. So this was at the start.
Martel
Leach
definitely had the best start there.
Yeah. Super quick reaction time, but got the car off the line. And Bucky, in these hot conditions, these cars are over-gripped on the line, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, your whole race is based off of your start. A lot. Even in the supercars, I feel that that's going to be the case.
Scott Speed yesterday was concerned about the high-speed start here, and, you know, 4 cars going into 1. I think it's fine. Somebody has to give way, don't they, in the end? And if they don't, they end up out wide. Exactly, yeah. If you watched the World Rallycross Championship last weekend, turn 1 in Q1 there was absolutely epic. We had someone in the loose every single time. So this is McConnell slotting out behind Martel, but it was Martel who took the win. Supercars coming up towards the grid now. Practice start for Scott Speed. Speed, who also got lucky with the draw yesterday, was the first man out. And we've just had the results pop up on our board. So, in fact, Conor Martel and Fraser McConnell both managed to beat Alex Keys. Alex Keys, they're only 3/10 off the back of McConnell. And Brad DeBerti only a further 1.4 back. So the top 4 in ARX 2 covered by around 3 seconds, which is very promising for a decent fight this weekend. So it was Martel, McConnell, Keys, DeBerti, Hildebrand, Leach, Keats and Ledbetter in the first session of ARX 2. So Martel winning that first one. Remember, they're only having 3 qualifying sessions each day for both classes. Now, ARX 2 have a double header every weekend. ARX, this is their only double header. So these guys normally do 4 qualifying sessions, 2 on Saturday and 2 on Sunday. But this weekend, they'll be doing 3 today, 3 tomorrow. They've got semi-finals today and a final, and the same again tomorrow. Scott Speed on the inside. Tanner Faust, his ex-teammate and his championship rival next to him. And Chris Atkinson on the outside for Subaru. So 2 Subarus versus the 1 Volkswagen. Thumb up from the marshal. You can hear the ARX 2 cars rolling back towards the paddock. Here we go. Now time for some anti-lag.
Look at that Volkswagen sink down. Did you see that?
Oh, great start by Speed and Atkinson, though. Faust just didn't get there, but then as he pulls the gears, he catches back up in between them. But Atkinson's going to keep the squeeze on. No way for Faust to get out through there. He's going to look on the inside. They drop down the dirt. The Beetle gets a little bit sideways on the tar, but it's Scott Speed who's got the whole shot. Very, very long. Bucky, that turn 1 going from tarmac to gravel is fantastic.
It was, and Speed handled it great. So did Faust. Faust tucked in there. He had Atco on the outside there.
Atco goes Joker on lap 1, so watch him rotate the car around here. Didn't use any handbrake there, Bucky, from the looks of things, just turned the car in on the nose.
Yeah, I bet you he had his hand on there to deactivate those diffs, though.
Just to unlock it in the center.
Yeah, just unlock it, so that'll free up the diffs, the front and the center there.
Faust running a slightly different line to Speed. We were sat yesterday with Steve Arpin, who's using overlay technology to look at the difference between him and Scott Speed. The Fords were looking very fast. It was fascinating to see the difference in the point at which they were turning in, Bucky. You know, the one of them would carry more speed in, and then the other would carry more speed out. Speed's gone Joker early, so Speed, I wonder if this is to cover off Atkinson behind him. Atco was going quickly, so Subaru covered him off.
It possibly could be, but I wanted to really watch the driving styles when Faust was behind Speed, because Faust was really sending it into the dirt, and he was really on the exit a little bit more on the gas a little bit sooner than Speed. So
Faust has got a choice now, Bucky. He either stays out for another lap and goes Joker on the last lap to see if he can gap Speed, or he goes now in response to Speed's Joker.
Well, it looks like Speed's got him. It looks like he's closer than 2 seconds here.
You can hear the revs there spike as he came up over that crest. Gets the Beetle much straighter on the exit there. This is how good. This is my favourite as a part of the track here, as they drop off the tarmac onto the dirt.
Let's look at the dirt. See how the dirt is getting a blue groove? That's where the rubber is actually laying down on the dirt, and you get some grip out of that. Look at Faust sending it there.
Interesting as well, where they're coming sideways off the dirt onto the tar there. There's a little lip building up there, and people are going to have to be careful to roll the car over that with the tyres facing forward. Speed, look, runs a bit wide in the background.
Yeah.
Speed is out in the loose on the outside. Can Tanner Faust do enough here to get him at the Joker? Rides the curb fully. He's going to carry the Speed through. Slot the Beetle almost off the side of the jump. Tanner Faust now going to come around the right-hand side, but I think Speed's got it. Can he get past Atco? Atco going to run the Super out, but he's got enough speed. And in fact, Scott's Speed there looked like he went defensive on the brakes at the end of the straight there. It was very strange from Scott, unless he's got a problem. Scott Speed hanging onto the Subaru. He moved across to the right-hand side very early on the tarmac.
This is going to be the turn to watch right here. This right-hander into the dirt. See how Tanner sends it in and see if he...
last lap, yeah, Speed's taking it. I say Speed, I wondered if did he have a puncture? There's nothing wrong that we can see. You saw the way he moved across on the straight on the last lap. Very strange line from him, unless he thought Faust was nearer than he was.
He was just covering.
Yeah, just covering the braking on the inside. You'd have to be brave to go up the inside through there, though. But that was a super committed Joker from Tanner Faust in an attempt to try and overhaul Scott Speed, but Speed got him at the start, and I have to say at the minute, Subaru are looking extremely strong, particularly off the start line. That used to be the domain of Volkswagen. They've got a bit of work to do there. Two of the Subarus beating him down towards the start, and this was it, Bucky.
What a great start by the Subarus. Grabbing the gears. It seems like Faust is able to get through the gears a little bit faster, so I don't know if that's something that Volkswagen has figured out, or if that's just, you know, Faust just got more grip.
Yeah, Faust almost seemed to short shift out of first gear to me. You could see the nose of the car dip down. I wonder if he got too much wheel spin off the line. But a good chase all the same. It was this lap with the super committed lap, and the Joker in particular, I'll say very, very impressive from Faust, particularly when we'd seen...
Look at this.
Yeah, this is what you were saying, isn't it, about him moving the car around. Of course, there it was. Couldn't have used any more of the track than that, could he?
No.
Tanner Faust always moving the cars around. Look at that too. Yeah, brilliant. Completely contrasting driving styles.
I wish we could have added another half a lap right there.
Yeah,
I would like to see Tanner
we
on
wanted
that
it,
turn.
didn't we? We wanted it. Supercars then lining up for another encounter. 4 cars in this one. We've got both of the Loughborough racing machines, Arpin and Peacoy, in the centre of the grid. Arpin, I think, was fastest in free practice this morning. The last time I looked at the timesheets this morning, he was fastest. But
I think Peacoy was fastest.
Was he?
As well.
Fantastic.
I mean,
so right up there, both of them. On the outside, Cabot Bigham, the big ham, I know, keen to make it through to the final this time. He was the one driver who missed out on the final. He was very disappointed with that. And on the inside, Sandell. You may notice Subaru have changed the roof colour. Now, they told us it was because me and Bucky complained constantly about not being able to tell the difference between the cars, but we believe their spotters may have had something to do with that as well. So Patrick Sandell, Steve Arpin, Travis Peacoy and Cabot Bigham. Our 2 new supercar drivers on the outside of this grid. I say Sandown now sporting a yellow roof, yellow wing mirrors and yellow end plates on the Subaru. Speed's car, I think, has got a matte black roof and black mirrors.
Yeah, you don't want to confuse your drivers when you're giving them information.
No, definitely not if you're a spotter. You don't want to be following the wrong car around the track, do you? That would be terrible. Right. Cameras at the ready to race. Oh, very even reaction time. Peacoy seems to have got those. Sandell, look at the speed of the Subaru on the inside. These are all side by side. Cabot Bigham trying to go around the outside. Sandell gets sideways. Arpin's right up underneath him. Try and find a way through. A little bit of contact. Peacoy into the rear of Bigham. Bigham runs wide. He's in the loose dirt. Can he hold on to that position? Going to try and shut the door on Peacoy behind him. So the big ham slots into 3rd place, but it is Sandell who gets the whole shot. Subaru looking super strong on the start.
Subaru looking spectacular right now. The car is looking great. We got Peacoy into the Joker. He's
Good
getting that out of the way.
I think.
Yeah, he's going to get that out of the way. He's going to try to reel these guys in.
So let's see what the lap times are like. Sandell through the left on the dirt. And Bigham actually looking good here. So Bigham's looking quick, isn't he? Look at the dust as well, though. Bigham will be struggling for visibility, as will Peacoy on those dirt sections.
Yeah, the visual isn't too good. I can tell by that. It's really cloudy with the dust.
You can hear them really having to feather the throttle as well, Bucky, on the loose sections. I mean, look at the dirt. It's proper dirt, isn't it? Bigham goes Joker, trying to protect from Peacoy. What's Peacoy done on those last couple of laps? He's done enough. So Peacoy's on a mission because Bigham was on the back of that group in front. Look at the speed you carry. And that's why Speed went defensive, because the slingshot from the Joker is rapid.
Did you see the difference there?
Yeah, you did. The closing speed was incredible. So that's why Speed, the mirrors on these cars, Bucky, they're pretty much useless, aren't they, basically?
They look great, but yeah, they're useless.
You see a flash of colour, because you've got roll cage bars in the way, and obviously the amount of dirt flying up, the movement in the car. So if you see a flash of colour behind you, Mike, look at the dirt.
Bigham and Picoy just got into it there.
Sandell goes back on. Sandell and Arpin yet to joker according to our timing screens. Through that dip, and we're really starting to get blue groove now in that dirt section.
The track's getting faster by a few tenths as well. Sandell's faster than Speed's last run.
36.3 from Sandell on his last lap, but then a 37.0, so 7/10 difference in 2 laps.
That's the inconsistency of these dirt turns that will throw you out there. If you get this, you carry the speed, and then you get on the dirt, you get a little off, and you're in the fluff.
Sandell goes joker now on the last lap. Arpin's going to follow him in. Watch for Picoy on the inside. Has Picoy done enough to get his teammate? He has. Great drive. Travis Picoy, P4 up to P2. Great joker tactics. He went early after he lost the start, but no one has managed to do anything about Patrick Sandell. So he's going to come round now. The target time of Scott Speed, it was a 2:38.7, and he does a 2:38.8. So Sandell is 1/10 of a second slower than his teammate, round 1 winner and championship leader Scott Speed. So Scott Speed takes Q1 from Patrick Sandell. Where does Picoy slot in? Faust is going to go 3rd, isn't he? And Picoy 4th. Look at the loose dirt there. You can see as the cars come down off the jump and compact the loose dirt. It's proper loose dirt surface. Fantastic.
I think we're going to have to start worrying about that section of tarmac where it blends into the dirt soon, like you said.
Absolutely, where the lip is, where they rejoin. Yeah. Sandell takes it from Picoy, Arpin and Bigham. 2:38.8, not quite enough to take the session. Sandell with an outrageous lap on lap 2, 36.3, but not able to match that on his other laps. So this was him at the start. 4 wide, Bucky, and at this point Picoy obviously not going to have contact with his teammate on the inside. Slots in, has a look underneath Steve, then when he goes wide to try and go, he clipped Bigham, didn't he? Bigham looked around the outside, and at this point he's down in P4, so wise decision to do this.
But boy, did he put his head down after this joker, and he put some laps in.
Yeah, he did a 36 on the last lap as well, so 36.7 from Picoy on the last lap, and that was enough to overlap his team boss. That's the closing speed at the joker lap merge, so super quick down that back straight, and definitely some opportunities to make some mistakes on that dirt joker lap, because the joker lap just developing in a different way to the whole of the rest of the track. So Speed takes it from Sandell and Faust, but I was wrong. It's actually Atkinson who's in 4th place. Look at the timing screen just to our right here. Travis Picoy 5th, Arpin is 6th, and Cabot Bigham down in 7th place. Bucky, that's 3 Subarus in the top 4.
Yeah, it is. And to watch Picoy and Arpin battle in the basically same car, and I think Picoy had him by about a second.
So Picoy doing a great job
really
there.
Good driving.
It's only 1 session down. Remember, it's a double-header this week, and they can do 3 sessions today, take us through to the semi-finals and the finals. So here are the standings at the end of Q1. Scott Speed takes it from Patrick Sandell, Tanner Faust. Chris Atkinson is in 4th place. Picoy and Arpin look 5th and 6th. Cabot Bigham down in 7th place. All to play for, but you can see the points loading for the guys who win the sessions. It's 50 for first, 45 for second, 42 for third. Then it goes in 1 point increments. So you really want to go top 3, but that does mean, of course, plenty of opportunity to fight your way back up. And remember, there are only 3 qualifying sessions today for Supercar, because this is a double header. They're going to go through to semi-finals and final later on today. So, Bucky, it's important to remember this double-header thing. You know, if you were to have a big shunt today, or you would be missing a ton of championship points. So do you think we'll see a sensible approach from these guys?
I think so, yeah. I definitely think so. I know Subaru took into fact how badly damaged the car got in Ohio, and actually thickened up their panels.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they threw the lightness into the wind. They're like, all right, we need the car to take hits.
Okay.
So
So they've been giving that some thought. I spoke to Lance as well, the team boss, this morning, and he said he did have a little word with the lads after the final. I don't think he was too impressed about the contact between them.
Yeah,
so
or maybe they mixed up the roofs.
Yeah. The roofs are different colours now. He said they were going to fit magnets in the cars so that they pushed each other away. So, yeah, all good fun. Anyway, that's it for Q1. So we've got 2 more qualifying sessions coming up for ARX 2 and ARX. We've also got ARX 3 today, which will be on Sierra Car's Facebook page. The times are down there, so 13:45 local time for ARX and ARX 2 qualifying too. But make sure you stay with us all day. So it's a double header from Gateway, so we're going to see a winner today and another one tomorrow. Thanks for now. We'll see you in a bit.